very curious whether they can step up against Paper X. So we're gonna see that next week, but right now we're gonna see Paper X against Todak. So I wouldn't say it's another Causeway battle because, like we mentioned, Paper X is that melting pot of 2 Singaporeans, 2 Indonesians, 1 Malaysian. Meanwhile, Todak still a full 5 Malaysian squad, and their core has stuck together for a while. So it could be really interesting. We're gonna see them after a short break.
Oh, that's one. They spot two. Whoa. Quick right.
It can stop the call, okay? So he hold on, but he's the one for goal, and he gushes it out for Louvre.
Instead of engaging him, they go for the wraparound, and Ivan, you watch the angle, but he goes down, and Forsaken coming online. Forsaken at the spawn, taking our visa. Forsaken, quick for the triple.
And welcome back, folks. It is VCT Challengers Malaysia Singapore Stage 1, and we are moving on into our second series of the day. You heard it at the end of that starting highlight reel, Forsaken, because that's the player that we are going to watch pretty soon. Paper Rex versus Todak. Is it going to be that same any percentage speed run? What do you think, Marky?
Definitely not going to be 13-1s because Todak and Paper X, they've been at each other's throats for the longest time, the whole of 2021. In different qualifiers, you always see Todak and Paper X. These are staple teams for VCT MYSG, and we're going to see them rematch it again. Actually, the funny part about this is between Paper X and Todak, they haven't fought each other that often. And the reason why is because they just happen to be on opposite sides of the bracket each time.
Yeah, it's just so unfortunate. It happened last year. They're always trying to, Todak trying to find their spot in, but just maybe not yet there. But there was quite a bit of growth watching their games from last week, right? It was amazing. Aduka definitely popped off, and you were casting that game as well. But this is what it's all about. And I just want to point out real quick, you mentioned it earlier on as well. Paper Rex is that team that's kind of that melting pot of all the countries, all the cultures inside of Southeast Asia. You got Indonesians, you got Malaysians, you got Singaporeans as well. And I think that's some of that spirit that we can use up over in this virtual studio, up over in this chat as well, because this is not, it's not country versus country all the time. We talk about that, but it's all in good fun. It's all about people coming together for that one thing that we all love, and that is esports, that is Valorant, that is Vandals and Phantoms and all of that fun stuff. And that is something that I really want to emulate right here in this series. Paper Rex and the spirit that they embrace. All of these players, whatever country they're from, they have what it takes. Can Todak, the Malaysian squad, actually beat it to them? We got to find out, because look at them. Jing, Benkai, Forsaken, Mindfreak, and Davai. They are all so incredible.
Yeah, and one thing I really want to point out here, that Paper X is just above a year. It's almost an anniversary since they moved to Valorant.
Really?
And they've kept 4 out of the 5 members of their squad. Benkai, Forsaken, Mindfreak, and Defy. They've been playing with each other for so long. Different other titles in esports. And Jing is their latest addition. Brought in right before LCQ. Unfortunately, they didn't make it through because they were dropped by Northception as well as Damwon. Right. And right now, they're back with a vengeance. Paper X still considered to be the top 1 team from Malaysia, Singapore. And with the addition of Jing, of course, it's going to be really interesting because right now, Jing is number 1 in terms of average combat score for the rest of the teams. But of course, this only counts 1 series for Paper X. They're both 13-1s. You could say that it's very one-sided. It's very unfair to say. But Forsaken is also number 3 in average combat score. So that's really interesting. These are all stats before today, of course. Number 3 and number 1 for VCT MYSG, ridiculous. But wait, after that, there's actually Aduka. Number 4, right behind Forsaken, is Aduka on the opposite side in Todak.
All right, here we go. I mean, taking a look at Todak, that's the thing. Aduka has shown so much growth. He had that incredible clip with the Marshall from last week. He was the MVP of that day that we casted. I just want to see what the rest of the team can put up as well, because they really need to band together if they are going to take down that dinosaur that is Paper Rex.
It's going to be really difficult, though. But for Todak, one thing also really interesting is that 3 core players have been playing together since 2020. Like, even before Paper Rex made their move to Valorant. Aduka, Sube, and Click, who used to go by the name Senna. They've been together for almost 2 years. Yeah, he had a name change, and their newest addition is actually Kale. So Kale, only in October 2021 did he join. His first tournament was in November even. So he's a bit of a fresh face. But Todak, their core has been together for a while. They've been competing for a long time together as well. And that's why we can actually see a lot of potential, a lot of growth from Todak because they've been playing together. They've been able to grow together.
And this is why it's not going to be that any percentage speedrun. Todak, another team that is arguably one of the best in Malaysia right now. They've always kind of tried to take it against Kingsman, you know, maybe take it against Paper Rex or any other team, but somehow maybe not quite, you know, breaking past that top 4, maybe even top 8 position up in these VCT Challengers games. But here we go. I mean, map picks are always important. You're gonna need to ban a map that Paper Rex are not that strong at. Paper Rex are strong at. And starting things off with Vine, I'm not sure if that is something favorable, but Paper Rex banning Split, now that's questionable to me because they beat YGGP on Split last week. So Fracture is actually in the running right now.
Okay, Haven is going to be the first yet again. It seems to be the meta map at this point for Malaysia, Singapore, always the opener. And probably going to be Icebox next. And, you know, Fracture might not be a good time to bring that out, but I just feel like there's a chance for that to happen. You know, if both teams just want to choose the other map or want to choose to ban the other map, like maybe they don't want to play Breeze against Todak. But we're going to see our first Ascend of the day this time around. And it's going to be Paper Rex choosing that.
So that is kind of interesting because it's a map that offers a lot of options, a lot of depth. It's huge. It's the one that's most comfortable for most of the Valorant players. If Paper X picks it, they must have some kind of a big strategy that they want to pull off. But of course, moving forward, we still have 2 more maps to ban, and Fracture is still in the running.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Paper X want to fight
Fracture or Icebox?
On Fracture. That's the thing, right? We've seen Paper X on all of the maps, and their win percentages are all high because they are the winningest team in Southeast Asia, or in SGMY rather, not Southeast Asia, but in SGMY. And because of that, the stats are kind of inflated and skewed towards their favor. It's hard to tell which one we're seeing, but it's going to be a Fracture for the Decider map.
I cannot believe this. It's either Paper X being so confident that, you know what? No way we're going to go in Fracture. Even if we do go into Fracture, we're probably going to win. We don't need to worry too much about it. Let's just, you know, roll the dice and see whatever we got. Haven and Ascent. It's something that, you know, we've seen several times now. And Husky was one of the casters that tweeted out saying that, you know, Divine mentioned on his stream, they're more worried about Kingsman and Bleed. They're not that worried about Toda. It's a little bit maybe even disrespectful if you want to say that, if you want to put it that way. So Paper X versus Toda, the dinosaur versus the swordfish, the gods versus the mortals, as Husky put it. Please follow that guy. What do you think is going to happen, Marquis?
I think that Paper X are just too good at this point. With the addition of Jing, they just need a little bit more time to gel with a double duelist. So one thing to note about Paper X though, Jing and Forsaken, as of late, have played mostly duelists. They don't have that secondary flex. We've started seeing different teams run, you know, double Sentinel instead. Double duelist is kind of passe. But can Paper X still make it work? Because it's worked for them thus far. Will they need to change it up? Or, you know, will Jing or Forsaken actually switch agents?
Exactly. I mean, it worked for them against YGGP, and maybe it's just because, you know, YGGP maybe not as well known. They're kind of that up-and-coming team. Paper X are just that confident. They played last week with Jing almost one trick on Raze. Forsaken, he's the Jet. He's that sharp. He doesn't really. He needs knives. That's all he really needs. And they made such incredible fast plays, such incredibly calculated plays as well, because they mostly created space off of Jing's boombot. If this is Haven now, it's kind of different. I'm not sure if double duelist is what you really want, but, you know, they also were that team that played double controller, like 0 Sentinels, just 2 controllers, 1 Viper, 1 Omen on Split. It could work. I'm just curious to see what they actually have in store for us.
Yeah, I'm going to be really excited. Just to say, I think it's going to be Jing that's going to be changing the agents on Haven. Like Raze or Reyna, not really favored on Haven anymore. What's favored, as we've seen in the previous series, a Breach, an Initiator. Not just a Sova, you need a +1. Sky, Breach, KO, whatever flavor of secondary Initiator you want to choose, there's always been a second Initiator. Now here's also the interesting thing. Forsaken, at some point in time, was also playing Sova on Icebox. So like, he's also played Sage. He's
That's the
literally a
thing.
frag machine. Doesn't matter which agent you put him on. He doesn't need those knives. He's really
Truly.
good with it, but he doesn't
But-
need it. He can do anything.
I mean, he's also gone with Yoru on Bind, so he's
That's why
played.
that's why I got banned.
Yeah, he's played almost every agent at this point in all of VCT, and it's just such a big question mark. I mean, there are some players on this side of Todak that we should highlight as well, because Aduka has shown a lot of growth. He's been incredibly sharp since last week. The rest of the team, do you have anything to say about them?
Not really sure what to make out of the rest of Todak, because they do have a little bit of flex players like Click.
Right.
Sometimes would play initiator controller. There's not much to say except the fact that it might be hurting. I just feel like if you're playing too many roles, it's all different timings. It might just not work out against a team like Paper Rex. But one thing I want to point out here, Jing is on the Sage.
Wow, you were right. He's not going with Raze for the first time in a while. He's actually going with Sage. That's going to be interesting. That's something that you want to keep your eyes out for, because this young gun is someone who has proven how incredibly sharp, how incredibly fiery he can be, but now he's going in a little bit more chill. If you're a Sage, if you're going to do some cheeky walls, this might be the map to do it. But of course, back to your earlier point about Click, I think that's worth pointing out, because despite Todak winning against Festel, Click was not really popping off. He had a positive KD, but switching around that many agents, he was Initiator at first, then he went to the Sage. Talking about flex picks, do you think Jing swapping over to Sage is going to be a good choice?
We've seen a lot of the main star players. Oh, Forsaken already gets a kill. As I was just talking about Jing, star players normally play Jet, but we also seen the Sage meta at the very beginning of Valorant. So I think it's going to be fine for him as Paper Rex get a second kill yet again. It's going to be really difficult for Todak right now as they get taken down one by one.
It just doesn't even matter. Off the first initial frag, just instant refrags come into play because Bankai is that quick. The IGL of Paper Rex, of course, calling well above and beyond. He doesn't really care because he knows where the hit is coming and he's just preparing for it. Doesn't matter if he gets taken out as well, because look at where Mind Freak is. Look at what he's doing. He's got the frenzy. He's just repositioning. He's just reloading, and he is getting that double kill. 1-0 to start for Paper Rex.
We're talking about Jing, but you know what? The rest of the team, they're all gonna get the frags. Mind Freak, Bankai, Forsaken, they did everything this round. Forsaken opening frag, but Duka went for the trade. Bankai locked the Cyclone with a double kill of his own though, and right now, for Jing, he's a frag machine. He has the highest ACS, so this is gonna be a battle Sage. There's not gonna be a Sage that hides behind her walls, just waiting for her teammates to die and get healed or whatever. Jing's gonna push forward. We saw that on A. Unfortunately, he didn't find anyone though, but Paper Rex off to a hot start already.
This is a Sage that will use his walls to put himself up into really unorthodox positions, and that's something I'm looking forward to seeing. But whatever it is, Forsaken is a guy who makes highlight reels just by existing, and he's definitely going to be asserting that presence down A short right now, allowing for Jing to push up front. The Spectre, he peppers them down to about maybe 25 HP. Aduka has no choice but to back off, but even though he repositions, he finds a headshot in towards Forsaken. This could be a problem for Paper Rex. What is the rest of the team doing? They're actually holding down their position. Bankai, waiting for them to push into him. He gets traded. This could be a weapon pickup. But of course, Mindfreak comes in to deny that, and he has to reposition as well. Finds yet another one. 6 rounds in the chamber. Connects it on towards Aduka. Looks for the fourth, and he will connect as well. A quadra in round number 2.
With a frenzy, no less. Mind Freak really playing out of his mind right now, and now that's why his name is Mind Freak. Look at this frenzy, gets the headshot, has to reload here, doesn't matter, a kill whiffed a few shots, and he has a 4K in round number 2 with off a frenzy. It's absolutely insane play from Disaster.
1 point away from Cosmic Divide right now. Such a useful tool for retaking, or maybe even slowing things down and stopping attackers from pushing into sites. Todak has to be extra careful, but they got the full buy. They want this win. They're going to be pushing down in towards A, maybe utilizing some forward positions to try to bait Paper Rex into peeking them where they will find the opening pick. Jing up in this position, I'm not sure if I like that, because if he doesn't use his wall or if he doesn't get some support, he's going to be pinned down in that one corner. Maybe a bait and switch is what Paper X is trying to pull off, but there it goes. The wall comes up and he immediately darts away. This just buys a little bit more time, I guess.
Yeah, for Paper X though, they have two rifles on their side, a Vandal and a Phantom, so it's gonna be really difficult for Todak still, even though they have a full buy here. Right now, they really haven't gotten much space. There's still so much utility on the map for Paper X. There's the stars in the middle. There's the Killjoy traps all the way on Garage. It looks like the Spike is gonna go on C, and it looks like Mind Freak is playing up front.
Well, the forward position is going to be very useful, but not if he loses his head. So it's quite important that he actually gets some support. They go in to check it, but unfortunately swinging back and forth, it's going to be Mind Freak with the triple spray! He managed to stop them, and that leaves one player, Kale. He's not going to be able to do all that much alone now that his teammate Sube has fallen down middle as well. Repositions down into Garage, maybe down into Grass. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. Gets the headshot onto Jing. He has a little bit of time to plant the spike, but look at where the players are already headed towards. It's C-Link. It's into sight. Bankai wants to shoot him down as soon as he gets off the spike, but Toda, he actually finds one, but not before Forsaken comes in. All three players converging on your position. You're not going to survive it. You're not going to get the win. It's Paper X with the 3-0.
And Mind Freak has been the star of the show thus far. He had a quadra the previous round. He gets a triple here as well. Breach was not ready for that. Had his flash out. Jeed was not ready for the swing. Kale finally puts him down, but Mind Freak right now. Call 911. Look at his KDA. He's just really lighting up the scoreboard. And Todak, they don't have the answers.
Oh my gosh, call 911. You need the police, you need the ambulance, whatever it is. It's so lovely to see players like this pop off. And it's rather unfortunate because he did check that angle. Aduka did check the corner. He just swiped back and forth too fast. And that's something that Tens has actually mentioned on his stream before as well. You want to, if you were going to check a corner, you check it, you commit to it. You don't flick back real fast. You let your teammates do that for you. But unfortunately, it is what it is. And now here we are. The marshals and the sheriffs are going to have to do all the talking. They actually push up front, though. Jinx still getting a little bit over-aggressive. That just might be a Vandal donated over. Not unless Divide comes into refrag.
That's exactly what you're talking about, Jing. He's not going to play that Sage that's hiding behind, right? He's going to push forward. He's a duelist at heart. And unfortunately for him, he lost that duel. Click getting that headshot makes it a little bit scary for Paper X. Like you mentioned, if they donate that Vandal, if someone picks it up instead, it might spell doom for them. Because A is so hard to retake.
Wait. Okay, they do pick it up, but all 5 of them are walking down a long. That's a full train, a full squad of players, and there was a chance that Divide could have flanked them, but unfortunately he just stays on side instead. He doesn't even care as they stream into him. He gets the double spray. Forsaken there to back him up as well. Tries to go for the spray conversion, whiffs, flops to the classic, and then gets support from Mind Freak to close this out. Paper Rex, 4-0. I don't want to jinx it too early, but this is looking too darn good.
Not the start that I expected. I at least expected Todak to get their third round, their first buy round. But it seems like Paper X are just getting away with whatever they want to do. Like Mind Freak, already 10 kills on the board. Forsaken with an operator right now. They're going to have to get surprised with this operator because he didn't have one just now. So this is going to be a big surprise for Todak.
Strike, where is he going to be? Where is he going to pop up? It's down the middle, and he doesn't find anything, so they instantly come back around. Through Garage, he might be able to find something unless these smokes will obscure his vision, and Aduka is using that to exploit the site. He comes in, takes down one, and looks to cut off even more from their rotations. He takes down Bankai, but gets shot in the back, but here it is. Sube and Kale come to back him up as well. They've gotten the spike, and now all they really need to do is to back off, because Jing cannot do it alone. As sharp as he is, as young as he is not that one-man army. He will be able to take down one, though, and this is where I get a little bit nervous because I'm forced to eat my words. How much time does he have left? Maybe about 25, 20 seconds. Goes back in to clear out the site. There are players around C long, and this creates a bit of a triangle that he has to clear out. Gets the second, goes back in to maybe tap, but at this point he has no more time to defuse. And all of them looking down to take him out. They will be able to spray it through, and Todak takes their first victory in 5 rounds.
You know what? You said Jing might not be the one-man army, but he will try, and that's the thing. He made it hurt for Todak. He got 2 kills, even damaged your armor a little bit. And Paper Rex, they're still pretty good for economy. I'm just disappointed that that operator didn't really pan out for them. It's such a big investment, and funnily enough, the moment they actually bought that op, they lose a round.
I'm not gonna lie, I got a little bit nervous once Jake started getting kills, but that is true. The operator is kind of a risky thing, especially on this map, especially if you're peeking out Garage and you got players like Aduka and G to work against. They managed to use their smokes to basically control the site, right? Controllers, that's what they do. But here we go. It's now down to round number 6, and Todak are trying to change things up in towards the middle. But again, we saw this earlier on with Kingsman versus Bleed. Those stars can be so pesky. If someone just shoots through that thing, you could lose your head. So Aduka has to be very careful. In fact, he times it perfectly, but unfortunately, will get shot down by Forsaken, who was hiding in the corner the whole time. Click makes it a trade, and we're back to that 4v4. But then again, Sube, they're actually making the quick adaptation to push into C. What is Kale trying to do, though? He's all the way towards the back.
I know exactly where.
I don't have a spike right now. There's a neural theft going to be used. Only 2 members of Paper X alive, but like you mentioned, Jing is not anyone to sneeze at, right? He can just take you down. They're actually committing for this. That lockdown is going to be committed as Benkai takes 1 kill. Jing gets 1 as well as Sube takes Benkai down. 1v2 for Jing. He makes it a 1v1. They get flushed out because of the Killjoy lockdown as well. He's going to use that res to make it a 2v1. The spike is not down yet, and Jeed is going to have to play this 2v1.
There it is, slow orb to put even more pressure onto Jeet, as if it wasn't already enough, and then Jing closes it out with a triple. I am going to take my words back, because this guy is a one-man army. He single-handedly stopped that push from going through. Benkai helped him out as well, along with the lockdown, but that is just such a good read by Paper Rex, because the whole time those 2 players from Todak were on C, the spike wasn't there. And Benkai saw that opening, and he took it.
Really, really impossible situation, but Paper X made it work. The lockdown coming in. Jing, I don't know what he ate for breakfast, but I want some of that. Oh, Forsaken, get the first kill.
Oh
did
my
he get
God.
the second onto Sube as well? This Bladestorm getting committed. Gets a third. Oh my God, that's Forsaken with 4 kills.
Almost the ace, and he's looking for it. You know he's hunting that down. Mindfreak gonna deny him that joy, and he's a little bit upset right now. You know how those Paper X players can be. You've heard their team comms on their YouTube videos, but alas, that was one of the fastest rounds. Forsaken doing Forsaken things. We are at a 6-1 marquee.
We talked about how basically not going to be a speed run, but right now it's looking like that because that was so fast. And Forsaken with the Bladestorm, he had 4 kills. He didn't buy a gun, which allows him the operator buy for this round, and that also reduces the risk of him losing a gun to Todak in that eco round. So great play by Paper X, recognizing all of this and making things just work out for them. The economy, good. They're just round situation is so good as well. But Aduka is going to take Benkai down with that operator. Benkai getting a little bit too curious, peeking out of that corner.
That is good. That's a well fought punishment, because now the Killjoy utility has been disabled. Todak could actually use that to find an opening, because Paper X's players have over-rotated all the way over onto the C site half of the map. This could be an opening towards A, not unless Forsaken has something to say about that, however. With 50 seconds remaining, Todak, they've got some options.
That operator on A is going to be difficult to get into, especially if he can get that opening kill. And they use the Seekers, gives them a lot more information, but it doesn't matter. G takes down Mindfreak, and C site looks to be open. Paper X are rotating, but the spike, I'm not sure where it's going.
Getting a little bit too confident with their peaks, but still Todak are a little bit lost as well. They finally make the decision to hit the B side, but that is where Forsaken is lying in wait. The first shot rings true, and then he repositions a little bit too much though, because he gets tagged down HP, and he will be the last player left alive as Sube takes down yet another. But the shorties, he just jumps forward. maybe even pick up the rifle. He's a little bit scared, but what he's really trying to do is to wait out the time. They go in for the plant. Of course, you got another player out over by the middle as well. He brings out the shot, and there it is. They see that opening, they seize it, and Click cleans this up for Todak, 2-6.
I was still pretty scared for Todak there. Forsaken, you could tell that he knew that there was a way to win that. He was trying to analyze all the possibilities. That's why he went for those plays. He went for that shorty kill. There was blood in his eyes, but luckily for Todak, they were able to finish him off. And of course, like you mentioned, that updraft actually left him a little bit too vulnerable after that first shot was too low to actually make anything out of that.
You can tell, like, he was looking to rip and tear the heck out of that, but that's the thing. Sometimes a little bit too much adrenaline. You don't have that blood punch. You're going to need to chill out for a bit. Maybe pick up that rifle. That could have been the difference maker for Paper Rex in that round. But whatever it is, it's still a 4-round lead. And they still have quite the bit of economy. Of course, though, not the entire team, as Forsaken, Venkai, and Jing are down to upgraded pistols. I just want to see what plans they have in mind up against Todak's rifles and guns.
I wouldn't count them out. We've seen Forsaken on the Sheriff. His aim overall is just a bit too crazy. So right now, Todak, they're also afraid of where Forsaken could be.
Is he the top second or the first player voted on the Valo to Asia top APAC players?
Yeah, I believe he was number 1, and for good reason.
Oh yeah, that's just Forsaken, all right. Chase 1 with Kingsman
Definitely
take round
had to
1 in second
equalize.
half.